hopefully never again.
Hopefully never again, but here we go.
Success.
Very little success or not. We're finally going to jump into the draft here to see what does end up happening for this first phase. And again, just pointing it out, you know, we got Twisted Minds here on that red side. Aurora's over here. Bans are already...
The Immortal One chose me to vanquish the shadows that plague this world.
Himself, Suyo.
Okay, so Suyo Joy trade is off. Suyo Nolan trade is online. Eve is up, but now for Twisted Minds, they'll go for the Harith priority. First 2 picks, quite a rarity actually. Usually see Harith come in 3rd, but it's one of the main gold layers right now in the league. While of course the Hilda, which is one of the healthy EXP lane picks that we talked about earlier.
You know, with Hilda, where does that fit still, like, in this current meta? Since we're always talking about new meta, new era, could this also still work as a roam? I know it does pop up mostly in the XP lane, but even roam, like, the pressure, is it still good enough?
No, I think based on the performance of the teams who would field Hilda, they need an extra level of CC, vision, and initiation. So yeah, Hilda definitely, I'd say 4 out of 5 times won't fly in the roam.
And so for Aurora, they go ahead and pick up the Granger. One of the main traits right now, the gold lane, Harith versus Granger. Whoever gets those power picks, and of course, with what he brings to the table, with bringing people low even before the fight could begin. And of course, the Phobius, which has popped up as one of the best EXP laners that you can pick if you want to be aggressive. If you want to be able to hold, what, 3v1, 4v1 to allow your team to follow up. Phobius is built for that. Edward is ready for that.
Yeah, he is, and you know, completely agree. Phobius is just kind of in your face, and there's not too much you can do about it now. If you're able to set up that real-world manipulation, maybe it helps kind of get in that favor again. We've seen this combination so often with the Eve and the Harith. That's so deadly when you're thinking about that death box itself, and especially when the Zaman forces drop down. Now we have to take a look at the second phase of bans here. What are we thinking?
Twisted Minds, Coach Bon, gonna start taking away mid laners, and there's one solid one. Haji had definitely, with the Eve, has mid lane priority.
Yeah.
Although there's no room for magic damage anymore, we've seen in previous outings in the past, 3 or 4 months, that if an Eve is in your draft, they're definitely dealing the most damage in the first 10 minutes of the game, so that's enough.
Yeah.
So now for Twisted Minds, it's interesting that Aurora's actually respecting the possibility of a roam Hilda instead of an EXP Hilda because of the bans that they're prioritizing the EXP lane. You wouldn't think that they ban CC, but Aurora are still leaning into the possibility that this Hilda can go into the roam. I like this ban here on the Jawhead because of how he's popped up as one of the most aggressive and surprisingly best roamers if you want to snowball really quickly. It isn't always a sure thing that you'll win the early game with the Jawhead, but it's just better to be safe than sorry.
And with this last ban, we'll see if they still kind of focus on some of those XP options. Maybe that CC too, you know, just kind of covering their bases, because we did mention, you know, 4 out of the 5 times you expect the Hilda to go in the XP lane, but there is always that chance. And I think that's part of it, you know, for Coach Master the Basics.
And all the more, I think Aurora are just really covering their bases, making sure that they're sure, is if you put Hilda in the hands of a player like Sensui, you're missing out on a lot of the mechanics that Sensui Instincts opens up for you in the roam. Hilda's I hate to say it, a brain-dead hero. That's not a Twisted Minds type of hero.
Just run straight.
Hey, look at that! It's a Hanzo ban!
Okay, Hanzo's going to be banned out here. What are you leaning towards here, Renmar, for these next picks from Twisted Minds?
Well, I'm ready to get my mind twisted if ever they're really just going to put this Hilda in the roam and the EXP lane isn't showed yet.
Don't do it.
They need a strong frontline holder. Hilda ain't that against this lineup, but they might just open it. If it's not there, the roam, I wonder if they'll consider the Tigreal, but it's difficult because the Valentina's still open on the side of Aurora.
Maybe you take Red 5. Because if you say it now, Tigreal Sensui with the Sensui Instincts, I'm all for it.
Oh, okay.
They save it, they save it!
They do save it, so they're going to save that last pick. They go with the Hayabusa. Aggressive jungler versus an aggressive jungle. Now the last 2 picks here.
Yeah, they're cooking right now, whatever Twisted Minds is thinking about putting into the roam or EXP trade. Aurora, I think they can slot in a Gatakacha roam or Khalid roam if they want to. That will give difficulty for this Eve. In terms of the mid laner up against the Harith, You can. No, I still would highly suggest Valentina because you actually turn off any big ticket ultimate roamers on the side of Twisted Minds, and even EXP laners if they're thinking about going into the Edith. It's a great deterrent pick if they go for that in the mid lane.
Oh, okay.
Even when all is
We're gonna get to see the Cho, and then there's the Vexana, another common pick in that mid lane. So they got great setup potential just with the Cho alone, and you know this we'll see if actually Renegade is able to go ahead and play that part.
Yeah, I understand why they picked the Vexana over the Valentina, because the Valentina has conditional CC.
Yeah.
They definitely need something more proactive. They don't want the extra step between ult and fight. So they'd rather go for something that they can control, which again helps Yue. That's the Vexana.
Yeah, it rounds out the draft really well considering the roamer is single target lockdown. You needed that AoE. So still, it was a good route taken by Aurora. Is this going to be a very surprising pick? Is it just going to default into a Tigreal? What's it going to be, Twisted Minds? Are you going to shock us for the very first day?
Oh, it's okay. It's Hylos.
Yeah, that's not very shocking.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Hylos has seen a decline. In the last couple of days of Snapdragon Pro Series Season 6 in the playoffs, he just started dipping.
Yeah, I guess you could just say it's just a pathway now, not that glorious anymore.
Hey, it's still a pathway though.
It's still a pathway.
So I don't know what the plan is here. What, double down on the AoE zoning? Just like,
I
real
think
world,
so.
glorious balance.
Summon Force, just throw everything, you know, at this point.
Yeah, you know what? That's like, I mean, if you're putting a jungler in a completely new role, that's like the safest way to go for. Pop down ultimates, play around the ultimates. Don't ask for anything fancy. That's like raw, pure MLBB.
I want to know exactly, going back to the key to victory here, is like, what is the Sensui instincts with this pick? How will this play a part into the whole plan, the whole play?
It's very macro-centric, and it's a new kind of Sensui instinct we've never seen before. Confirmed, he is playing the Hylos, rocking a Revitalize on it, so I don't know what happened to Sensui in Malaysia.
To Mobile Legends.
I don't know. We'll see what it unfolds here, but this is the opening game, opening match for MPL Philippines Season 15. Is it going to be a new era ahead of us? We're going to find out with these first two teams battling out, Twisted Minds and Aurora Gaming. Now we get it situated here. Renmar, how's it looking for the emblems?
Oh, well, for right now in the beginning of the game, you got the Hilda aggressively going into the mid. So he gave the vision. Actually, the Demon Kite is in his orange buff, so that's info already for Twisted Minds. While he's in the mid lane, he just completely left the Phobius there. And speaking of the emblems that you mentioned, let's just think about that some other time.
Ask and you shall receive. Eventually, we'll get there.
We'll get there eventually, you know? But yeah, that's the main thing. I think, you know, for the early game, things kind of getting situated here. One thing I really want to know is, because of the Hayabusa for MP the King, how aggressive can he start? Especially the fact that you have a Cho across from you and it's Renegade, and we all know, you know, the Hitman, that he's got his name for a reason, how aggressive he's going to be.
I'll tell you now, on behalf of MP the King, not at all. You see how this Hayabusa did not cross the river at all? But what's bothering me is how come Renegade is not crossing the river too? You mentioned how aggressive he is, but he's here being more of a security guard instead of a hitman.
Yeah, his rotations right now just speak of, let me protect Doming Kite first. So Twisted Minds went into this with a possibility that it's going to be a hyper-aggressive Twisted Minds trying to get the gold laner down early. But right now, Twisted Minds got here first against Aurora in the center of the map.
Forcing some shadows out from MP the King. Hajizi playing with range here, down to a third of his health. A little bit of a back and forth action. No real conclusion just yet. Look at that amazing cut down bottom.
Yeah. That was a big cut down at the bottom. Now, fight.
Oh, Sensui looking very low despite popping the Revitalize. It's slain by the last Raider. The steal by MP the King, though, on the turtle, and they're happy with their objective. They back off. Here comes Aurora with the rest of the squad coming through. Yue blasting James, and here's a real elimination. Defensively used by Hajizi. Purple still standing, and the rest of Aurora back off.
Yo, Hajizi saved that purple buff from falling into the hands of Aurora. He had to use his ultimate to do it, but they needed to make sure they kept it. And I think this is where we're seeing a little bit of the inexperience of Sensui in the roam role. You should not be that deep for the first turtle if the purple buff of your purple buff dependent hero hasn't been taken yet, because you leave yourself susceptible to getting invaded. Good thing Hajizi saved the situation.
Yeah, not only that too, but some of those little decisions will play a part as they transition here. Renegade is gonna get that level 4. He might just try to slow down MP, but it looks like he spotted out, so he finds him and he backs out. So again, a kind of a, maybe a misplay to an extent there, that first turtle, but look at the fight here, still in the jungle.
Ooh, glorious pathway, set in to punish Renegade. Another one, EG, keeping Sensui down, throwing him 6 feet under the ground. Another free kill for Aurora.
That felt also just like an unfortunate timing by Sensui going up against one of the most talented mid laners, Yue. His EG was put down perfectly.
Not only that, but you saw the pathway drop down, but he was just seconds off from having the revitalize.
I don't blame Sensui again. You saw Renegade use the flicker.
Yeah.
So that's a clear go sign, and that was what his instincts told him to do. It's just there wasn't much follow through, and he got punished instead.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the thought, pathway right now ain't that glorious. It's gonna take some time to be able to build it properly.
I think it's a high loss issue, man. Just the whole kit, unless you're really bearing down on an assassin, that's gonna do the job. But here we see Demon Kite looking to save Renegade, not gonna work out. Finally, Twisted Minds on the kill board.
All right, Twisted Minds, good response from them at a crucial time too. I mean, this turtle's gonna be up here, but I'm not sure if they're gonna have free reign on it. James gonna make his way. They will start the turtle up though, and Rora, she's zoned out here for a little bit.
Lord's pathway, man advantage for Twisted Minds. Demon Kite very low. The EG used to save the Suyo, the jungler, and another turtle scored by Twisted Minds. They're looking to punish. How deep can they get? James here might get caught out, retreating underneath the river brush. A little bit more CC, and the deep dive by Mr. Consistent. One more takes him down.
And that's going to be difficult for any high loss to get out of, because your roamer is, or EXP laner that you're paired with is different. Already, Jay!
What? Way of the dragon, serving up a kill to Demon Kite.
Hitman thing still activated, and Renegade, after getting read out by Twisted Minds before that previous turtle, now he was able to read Twisted Minds' rotation and take out MP the King. Great adjustment by Aurora.
Great adjustment. It looks like they're not going to just let up at all here. They're looking to make plays even in various lanes across the map right now. They might have lost the 2 turtles, but you can see the response from Rora, and that's also Skypiercer now locked in for Demon Kite.
And the Starlium Scythe in outplayed. So about 5 minutes in, I'm gonna say it now, yes, Sensui has died 3 minutes since, but also nobody's touched outplayed. And this is dangerous. If you give a Harris that mid-game power spike, you could see the tables turn.
And definitely Aurora has to watch out for that, because Outplay's getting really aggro, but he does have Sensui with him in lane. That has to be the warning shot for Aurora, that at some point they're going to really have to make a move for the gold lane, try to get a kill onto him. If not get a kill, just delay his farm. Speaking of, Thunderbelt already built up for Hilda. You got the Starlium for the Harith, and it's the 2-item rush for the Granger, the typical Hunter Strike, and a Sky Piercer for him.
Yeah, again, playing into this, they want to put pressure up here under this tier 1 turret top side. Renegade won't be able to find anything just yet. He does have Flicker available, so he could always pull that trigger, but they know Turtle's going to be up in about 10, and that's why you see some of the placements here. James!
He's very deep, forcing Demon Kite to back up. The Glorious Pathway by Sensui, compromising Renegade's positioning, and the clapback now. Sensui forced to revitalize, taken down once more, serving up a kill to Demon Kite. The man advantage going into the last turtle goes to Aurora.
MP?
They're not done. Shadow kill by MP the King. Does get the quad shadow out using maximum range. They're still not done. Here comes outplayed. He does get compromised once more. The kick, the combo. Too late, the real world manipulation. James does find one. All this while Demon Kite was pushing off cam.
There's a lot of crowd control on the side of Twisted Minds needs to deal with. Single target getting maximized really well. The crowd control from the Phobius, the Cho, the Vexana all together. It's getting Twisted Minds, well, sorry for the pun, twisted up in terms of the engagements of when to take it and what happens when they actually decide to take it.
It's interesting because, again, the concept is there. The theory with the lineup that they have is there. They just haven't found that right timing yet to make this all work. And a big thorn in the side of them is Renegade on the toe. Like right now, he's going to go ahead and spot them out, zone them out from this turtle. They might get to claim this one. Here's the pathway.
We set it up. Another shadow set. Yue who gets the turtle. Shields and damage all the way for Aurora. They take down James. Edward's still alive. Deep diving in. Infernal Pursuit onto Hajizi, replacing him. Repositioning him. Edward. Now they're still going. Down goes Edward. Killed by Outplayed. And trading up for Sensui. 2 for 1. Currently going for a beeline into mid.
It's not an EXP lane diff, and it's an EXP lane hit diff. Phobius over Hilda. That's the story.
That is the story. We're gonna take a look here in just a second at the replay of that fight. Again, it took some time to get to the fight for the third turtle, but look at this difference here with the lineups that they have. And again, like you said, look at what Edward's actually able to do. The Hilda can't do this. You can't just go ahead and force yourself in pursuit against 3.
But that's what he tried to do. So he fundamentally went for a play that would punish him at the end of the day. And now they're forced to play off of the map. They're going where Aurora isn't, because that's the wrath of this 4K gold lead.
And right now the lead is actually slipping very much so over the Harith against the Granger, because now 3 items locked in. Malefic Roar already locked in for Dominkite, while still on the way to the Holy Crystal is outplayed. So they're sacrificing, both of them actually, the side lane, far lane in their respective towers. So that's just going to level out, and it's going to boil down to another fight around the center of the river, which again, how will Twisted Minds answer the Phobius when it comes to team fights? Because right now, they don't have the answer. With the Harith lacking the Holy Crystal still, every dash the Harith uses just helps Edward.
And not only that, but the fact that Edward did just pick up a Radiant Armor too. You know, so like there's so much magic damage on this profile from Twisted Minds lineup that Edward being that guy in the front and then being able to soak that up and has that magic resistance is going to help him do it even more.
Save for the late game spike that Twist is now looking for. That's all they have. That's all, unless they snowball in the early game, it would have been too late. Oh my god, just off the camera, Mpl the King gets run through by Aurora in his attempt to get the purple. This all but seals the Lord. Now Edward trying to get some in. EG into 3! Down goes Edward, killed by James. Renegade as well, outplayed, is going insane. Yue goes down, 3 for 1, 3 for 2 the current trade. Now James is taken down by Dominkite, 3 for 3. The river is bloody.
I gotta say, good job for James, because we just talked about what the Hilda can and can't do. Well, at least he was able to do that and stop too.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about with the lineup of... Oh, wait, Hachi's it?
Oh! Blank! Blasted by Dominkite. This is my boomstick.
For Twisted Minds, without their ultimates, it's hard for them to engage. We talked about their lineup being drop, ulti, we fight, we win. And, well, they didn't completely win that one, but you get to see just how strong that very basic fundamental idea of MLBB is. The problem still stands. Aurora know the trades and understand the trades very well.
It's just the amount of damage that Aurora is able to pump out in such a short amount of time. And Dominkite, he's already a problem. You know, you can see it from this replay here. This was a good engage, and keep an eye too on James. He goes to the backside, puts enough pressure, but the same thing happens under that death box we were talking about on the other side.
All right. Action slowed down in real time, by the way. Here we see Renegade playing with fire, forcing out the shadow kill and the kick! Mpl the King traded for Renegade! It's a blackout Hellcurt ult. Dark Knight falls. Ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to get back into the action. We know that this is a key part of the fight, but it looks like... All right, broadcast has paused. Combat action has paused all around.
It has. It wasn't just us.
All right.
Okay, well...
All right, we'll get back into it.
All right.
Show us the camera angle there. Like, get us behind the players.
All right, look at those fingers. See, claw.
This season. You know what?
We can only assume.
Yeah, we can just only assume.
See, claw.
They're hot in it right now.
Claw.
Yeah.
MP.
That's some aggressive pressing.
He's locked in.
That's not a team fight. He's checking his items right now.
Demon kind as well here, man.
Going through it.
Oh, man. So, like, again, we got to kind of just wait to get back in the game there. But right now, I would say, based on, you know, before we got Hellcurted there, it's not looking too hot, you know, for Twisted Minds and some of these team fights and the way that they're kind of getting blasted before these next objectives do come up.
You know what? This is just evident of Twisted Mind's decision to play in pure absolutes. Every single hero does one singular thing well, and if it doesn't go well, and they don't get the trades that they want, it goes sideways. That's exactly what happened when they got those 3 for 3 or 3 for 2s, and then immediately, Rora goes for the Lord. Because Rora is able to slip through the cracks. All other heroes can capitalize and punish when your timing is off.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the difficult things we're seeing with the draft of Twisted Minds. The fact that they decided to prioritize the Hilda early very early on into the draft. It felt like they were leaning into it. They had some idea towards it, but at the end of the day, when you prioritize a pick like Hilda, first 2 picks on the red side, that screams comfort. That screams confidence from your EXP laner that, okay, I can win this lane. Pick this for me. You're giving info to the other team that it's a potential switch pick, even though Hilda has always fallen into the EXP lane pick recently.
Yeah.
But now it feels like with the high loss pick in the last, it's sort of just like, wait, what happened to the plan?
The flex wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
They invested so much in the flex, but they were looking at their notifications. Flex just went down like 3%, 10%, 15%.
It almost makes you wonder, like, what if, you know, again, it is only the first game, so I don't want to, like, go too deep into what could have been, but I'm almost wondering, too, like, what if it was that Tigreal? You know, would have it been a better case? Because right now I just think the lineup from Rora is being executed so well because of the amount of crowd control that they have. And I know when we went into the game, we were like, man, you know, they have a choke. It's a lot of that single target lockdown. Yeah. But even with the EG, like the Eternal Guard alone from this Vexana pick is actually causing a lot of issues for Twisted Mind's lineup, you know, on how to execute in those team fights.
Okay, so just an update for our viewers there. The game has paused, and as it stands, 13 minutes and 34 seconds into the game, Rora have a significant lead in the map and in the gold. They have a 7,000 gold lead, 43,000 to 36,000 of Twisted Minds, while after the kill and trade between MP the King and Renegade that we saw before the Hellkirk ult, there was actually 3 turrets taken by Aurora.
Because they had a Lord marching through.
Because they had a Lord marching through. Meaning that right now Twisted Minds find themselves in a very difficult position in the map with Aurora having a considerable lead.
And even with that, it makes me wonder, you know, with Twisted Mind's lineup, this lineup should, in theory, do well on defense. It should. Like, if you think about the Eve and having the Hereth there too, and yeah, the Pathway, the Glorious or not.
But consider this. That's like having good cardio going on an MMA fight.
That's true.
I'm going to last long, but I'm not going to win. You know, you're planning for not losing.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? How do they get there? Do they punish? Do they, like, take down Renegade and then they go on to the next dude, take down Edward? If that happens, if they find a way to do that, then we can start thinking of the next steps.
It makes me wonder if, yeah, like if you're going to dissect on exactly how they approach that base defense, then maybe they're able to catch someone. But even then, when you look at the lineup, who is going to be the one to catch someone off guard, you know, from Rora? Because even for Domenkite, man, he's had free reign from the back, and that's why the Granger is so great here. You know, it's such a great pick against this specific lineup from Twisted Minds.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you could say that HaGZ and Outplay timed their ultimates perfectly alongside Sensui's Glorious Pathway, and you have members of Rora trapped, Edward's still going to be able to buy so much time while dealing damage. Renegade can buy so much time while dealing crowd control that, again, it boils back to the idea of Domenkite and Yue are so happy from the backline, just tearing everybody up.
Interesting fact here, by the way. HaGZ holds the highest kills, 19 with 0 deaths. 19-0 back in Mpl Ph history. This is Season 6. Well, using Roger versus BSB. I'm sure you gentlemen. Were you gentlemen there?
No, we were not.
You weren't there?
We jumped in during the playoffs. Yeah, so we were not there for this momentous event. And what's crazier is this is from an older era of MLBB. This was pre-franchise during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And this even trumps Innocent's murderous run at M6. What was the record? 17?
17? I think it was 17.
On a Granger?
Yeah.
Haji still trumps him, man.
And,
So,
and on a Roger, by the way.
that's right. So whenever Innocent comes home, it's like, nice try, young blood.
Young blood.
Pretty sure they're closer to age. You know, they would have come each other up, but still 19 and 17?
Yeah, that's
Different time, too. So there's still a record.
19-0. So back then, this would have been the KDA machine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. that is
100%.
That is skewed stats to the max.
I mean, right now in this game, not a machine, but he's a pretty respectable KDA from a losing position. 1-1-5, 7 total kills on the side of Twisted Minds, meaning that Haji's been a big part of every win that Twisted Minds has seen so far.
For like 95%.
Yeah, 95% of it, the difficulty. While I think we really have to acknowledge the fact that, I mean, I feel like we could say we've casted and seen so many games.
Yeah.
The disconnect between Sensui and MP the King right now just feels so real. Like that point where Aurora just full invaded the jungle of the Hayabusa. He was left alone while Sensui and the others decided to loop around, trying to look for a gank. That just screamed someone still getting used to the rotational timings of a roamer.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Just like Twisted Minds being so committed to absolutes, I'm going to roll back on my whole parabolic chamber practice that Sensui went through. I think he's not comfortable with the role, with his teammates. It's just very clear
just
that...
the role in general.
I think the hero is picked out of place too. Like, I mean, they haven't lost yet. But it's a clear factor to everything that's happened in the past 13 minutes.
He's still at SS1 in this role.
Not even SS, bro.
He's not even SS?
He's at Krillin levels.
Give
right
him
now.
the Sensu bean at this point, man. Sensu bean. Sensu bean. Give Sensui a Sensu bean.
The one that the fat cat provides.
Yeah.
Up in the sky.
It's like the thing they eat when they're really down and out, and then all of a sudden
dead yet.
they're not dead.
You need a Dragon Ball.
Yeah, yo, you guys just exposed me for not watching Dragon Ball.
Oh my god, that's his quirk. Oh!
Yeah, that's my quirk, and not the superpower.
It's just a defect.
It's just a defect.
It's a cultural defect.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, I can go for ages about different anime, but not that one. I'm so
okay.
sorry, y'all. I hyped out though when I saw the clips of what Goku's been doing. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I
You know who Goku is even?
Hey!
Yeah, he's the
course
one
I
with the
do.
blue armor.
He did wear blue armor at some point.
At some point he did.
I know Bulma and Android very well.
Okay.
They're great characters.
How do you know them so?
No, I mean, like, yo, that clip with how she stopped Vegeta with, like, fighting, that was pretty cool.
Android 18 is arguably one of the best characters in pop culture.
100%. Like, yeah, I've never seen it, and I still like.
Great turn, like as a villain, and then we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we are.
We are getting sidetracked, but I'm still going to stand by the point that, and build up of what Leo was saying, that, yeah, I have to agree. The way this is going right now, Sensui, there's a disconnect that's happening here, at least for game one. Again, I'm hoping that, you know, this is just one of those things where they need some of that time to build up.
Yeah.
But it's clear that our kind of concerns coming into this, and seeing that when we did see Sensui was going to be playing Rome and knowing how good he is in the jungle. But again, you have two contrasting players, and I don't know, could they still eventually, obviously not for the series, but still switch things out? Like, would Sensui end up in the jungle than MP in the Rome? Is that as crazy as what's happening now?
Where's Jomi? Where's Escalera? Where's Jojo? Like, that's what I'm looking for.
I think that's like one of the good things about what Twisted Minds built in their roster is that Sensui, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of pressure on him because of, well, it's shown that he's an option to roam, okay. Escalera's there too, okay. But if ever we fall back to the meta of the Fredrin and the Martis, Sensui's very comfortable in that. If ever we require someone to use those very tanky fighter junglers, Sensui's there to swap in for MP the King if ever that situation arises.
That's what we expected.
Yeah, that's what we thought would happen.
There's another note for you guys out there, a little fun fact. Hajizi, the only player in Mpl Ph history to win both RS MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. So regular season and Finals MVP. So what season was this?
I
I'm
would
trying to
reckon
remember.
this was season 8.
I was going to say season 8.
Season 8,
yes. It's my first season.
Yeah. So you were there. You saw this happen before your very eyes in the World Trade Center in Pasay City.
With face shields.
Manila. Yes, with face shields. That's right.
At that time we didn't have the face shields anymore.
I think we still did.
We did? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It feels like a long time ago.
4 years ago.
Wow, it's been 4 years.
Man, we're getting old.
I don't know about you. I just turned 23 last month.
Oh yeah, happy birthday. Belated.
Happy belated. We gotta get our own little. Eventually, that'd be a fun fact to do. Little timeline of our, you know, how we had the player history. And I know we're gonna be seeing that for each team, I believe, for the 7-year history.
Yep.
Imagine if we had one for the casters.
Turned 16.
Turned 16.
At some point, you're just gonna see 2019 to 2020 for me is just rotten at home as a potato. I was the opposite of a KDA machine.
When did you guys find Mobile Legends? Did you find it when it came out?
Oh yeah.
It found me.
It found you?
Late 2016 is when I found it. I couldn't believe that there was a MOBA that played the full experience on my phone.
On your phone.
Because I was a kid that grew up in internet cafes, in PC bongs, as they would call it.
PC Bong?
Yeah, I would have to run away from home and hide it from my parents, and I spent a random 2 hours. Like, like when you get abducted by a UFO, you would understand, right?
Yeah.
You have missing time.
Yeah.
My parents would say, "Where were you for 2 hours?" I was at a PC bar.
That was a piece
So
of
yeah,
art.
so imagine that. All the money I spent, and the time I spent in internet cafes in front of a PC that I didn't own,
Yeah,
in my hands. That's what Mobile Legends was for me.
that was a game changer.
That's right.
I think even for me, it was at a time where I was just like, man, I don't have as much time to sit at a PC bond, so I might as well just do it on my phone.
Right.
And here we are, years later, right? I know they're having fun out there too, because a lot of the audience here, I didn't know they called that the U cult, UA cult, the UA cult.
Wait, they have
They-
a name for the...
Yes, there was. I was taking a peek at the phones, and that's what they had on the
Wait,
phones.
they have changed? Last I checked, they were UNatics.
Now it's
I was,
UA
I
cult.
was inducted as a UNatic.
So now you have to join the U cult.
Yeah.
That's
how do you do that?
probiotic.
How do you do that? Who do I have to talk to?
I don't know. I think it's the people up there.
Who is
front,
the
man.
who is the chapter master of the
U cult.
UA cult? I might dox myself. Never mind. I don't want to say where I'm from.
That's a woman just asking for a sick leave from her boss.
Mama, yeah. Why later though?
Oh, she's probably night
Maybe
shift.
she works the nights.
There it is.
Yeah, fresh graduate. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I hope you find
What
a
else
good
we got
job.
Is that Womi? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Why is this Womi?
It's the shirt. It says cursed shirt. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna explain it. I've already said some pretty risque things today. I'm not gonna explain that anymore.
Yep,
I actually don't know
featuring
that one.
well-known matinee idols from the early 2000s. Yeah.
Ah.
If you know, you know.
You know, no. It might look like the players are about to jump back in here. We'll see if once we get through this time.
Less than a minute. Less than a minute.
to go.
Folks, don't hold your breath, but still, like we're hoping. Because the last time we checked in, right, at the 13-minute, 34-second mark, it was actually a fight, and then it was a trade.
No, actually, we have when we get back, we have to catch up because remember we got hell curtained.
There was like 5.
And they were still moving.
There was like 5 seconds of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, to recap, after the
See?
last pickoff that we saw, it's UA cult. Yeah, you're
UA
right.
cults.
Yeah, UA cults. Okay.
So there's several. Or are you a cult as a member? I would assume it's the latter.
We
We're gonna have to ask
yeah,
them.
we have to ask them the specifics of it. Again, when we left
Get a
off,
registration form.
last thing we saw was a trade between Epi the King and Renegade.
Oh,
And what happened after that was Aurora clearing out the map.
Dear Lord, one of the 3 towers that went was an inhibitor down bottom, and now James checking in. River Brush. There's 4 members in vision. Royce Batley set in. Plus a real-world manipulation, and the clapback is real from Aurora, sending back the rest of Twisted Minds. And they spent all of their ults. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a clear take for Aurora. This Lord ain't going nowhere but the Northern Lights.
it's crazy because a different type of Lord messed with him. And that was the Eternal Guard, the mini Lord, because it dropped down, hit 3, and it literally stopped Twisted Minds in their tracks. And they're like, nope, never mind.
Is it the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen Twisted Minds just go, because of you? It's really good timing.
Gojira!
You know, that'd be a good skin. Like the Godzilla goes down for the Eternal Guard. But yeah, US timing's been on point, and we're also reminded of one of the biggest problems. Again, we have to reiterate, Twisted Minds cannot reach Dom and Kite safely. Even if they got a good engagement there where they didn't all get knocked up, they still wouldn't have had the space to be able to reach Dom and Kite before Dom and Kite brought them down low with the damage from afar.
Yeah, it's like what we talked about. Again, for Twisted Minds, it's like, who are they going to be able to focus down? Who are they going to go for? Okay, he gets out of there. That's fine. They get ready for this defense. But their best target is probably an overstepped Renegade or a UA if they can. But here we go. We'll see if they hold on to the game right now. They're going to lose the top turret next. They're going to clump up around the base here. They got to deal with this Lord, and they take care of that. We'll see if Aurora goes. Renegade has an immortality, so he could take a step forward. Edward as well, the stalwart in the front. They hold on. Mid-turret's going to be the next focus, but right now it's Aurora knocking on the door.
Impressive defense by Twisted Minds, losing no bodies and surrendering only the top lane inhibitor. So they live to see another day, another defense. About a minute and a half until the Lord spawns.
Yeah, it's not looking good in terms of the items. Mpl the King has struggled this entire game. He needs if we can get that one item in there, that's when Aurora is really going to start feeling like Shadow Kill, even though it's going to be forced or early, is going to be a problem. You don't have to use it to sweep anymore. You can actually use it to just deal the initial burst damage that Twisted Minds is having a hard time dealing at the start of a fight from a safe distance. And speaking of distance, again, the Granger is just pounding on Twisted Minds' formation right now.
Save for Haji's real-world manipulation, they are outranged.
Yeah.
Almost every single time.
And that's literally like that Granger pick. You know, it's such a nuisance for Twisted Minds to deal with because, again, when they don't have this kind of like catch ability, they're, one, not going to get close to Dominkai. So then they have to kind of default to, all right, who do we go? I mean, look at the amount of damage he's done. And a lot of that has just been firing off shots from the backside, you know, not really needing to do much because he knows every single time that Twisted Mind wants to actually fight, they're going to fight around Hajizi on that setup with the rear world manipulation. And so everybody's clumped up anyway. So you're just go ahead and shoot and shoot and shoot from the back and then let them shine from there.
Renegade, baiting something out from Sensui here. Again, one of their only real semblances of a front line and CC. Twisted Minds, they might even have to take this in the base again.
Yeah, with the Lord up, speaking of instincts, Aurora, how they checked that formation of Twisted Minds there was just on point. First, the Queller from Demon Kai to spot Sensui. Then you got a Death Sonata spotting out, I believe it was James hugging a shrub. That's just Aurora showing off to Twisted Minds that, like, we're reading you, and that's another great toss of the Death Sonata. Again, formation red, Twisted Minds, yeah, they gotta let this go. If they full commit this Lord here, it's gonna be devastating.
I think this is where, once again, we see if Twisted Minds, if they force it here, again, it's playing against the range, but also the Eternal Guard being dropped down by UA. As long as they're able to get those checked off the box, I think they can put enough pressure towards the backside that they can make a play.
Another read. UA blasts that brush as soon as James walks into it.
That's just familiarity, man. Like, Aurora's in the zone right now in terms of reading rotations and reading the potential placements of Twisted Minds in the shrubs.
This is now where you go ahead and you have to manage those waves. Bottom and top, you push. Mahaji's going to be fine. This might be a play here, though.
All right, Renegade and Edward walk into the white brush. The way of the dragon, compromising. Sensui blasts him, pops his immortality. Renegade goes down, outplayed as well. Just as soon as he gets into range, Dominkai pushing away the back line. And it's all four members of Twisted Minds that entered. Rora's space taken out, and MP the King, the only one left. This could be an end angle.
They won't even need the Lord with it. They got the minions and the numbers.
And MP the King survives just to see his base get cracked wide open. Aurora, MLBB, take game one.
A very clean game coming out from Aurora here for game number one. This first best of three to open up the season. Mpl Philippines season 15. We talked about the lineups coming into the game, and it was a glaring problem for Twisted Minds here, especially on how they executed it. Just not what they wanted going into game number one.
Wow, that's tough. That's a tough welcome to a new season for a team still discovering themselves for Twisted Minds, while Aurora just showing what they've been on since Mpl Philippines season 14. Yes, again, the many questions of inconsistency, but when they're firing off on all cylinders, as we mentioned earlier, they're a terrifying team to go up against.
They are, and I think, you know, really looking at this game number one, again, small sample size for now, but this is kind of what we expected from Aurora. You know, you can see where that refinement from their journey through S14, their eventual showing, you know, towards the playoffs and the ending there for the finals, and then even again we have to kind of break down what they probably learned and experienced in M6 in Malaysia, even though it wasn't the result that they wanted here. But this looks like a solid showing for the season opener, I would say. Now they still have another game to win here, but the way that they played game one, it's hard to pick out.
Maybe one day.
When did he first appear?
Under Blacklist, in their M5 run, so season 12.
Run. Season 12?
Hey, yeah. Yo, you know what? If Khaled ends up somehow playing, he'll be the first guy first player manager, because he's also registered as a manager, if I'm not mistaken, right?
But he's also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I knew him from back in the day, the old streaming stuff. He was a great Selena, and that's pretty meta right now.
So that puts him one up over Gymnast.
Yes.
Because Gymnast was also a player manager from Next Place Solid.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into this draft here, boys.
7-year history, baby.
7-year history.
Oh, we're looking back.
Roar on the blue, Twisted Minds on the red here. Bans. Are they going to be the exact same? I mean, the Louis Yi, the Joy here for Rora.
Oh, they actually. Oh, wait, no, yeah, it's the exact same one.
Fanny's still open, though.
Fanny.
Just a little, shake up on the order.
Yeah, if we're going to follow the trend from the previous game, that's going to be a Fanny ban, yes, for Twisted Minds, and a Lucas ban, there it is, for Aurora. So same exact bans.
Coach Bonchan trying to pull a quick one over, like, when am I banning the Fanny?
Is this the Suyo?
It's gotta be.
See if they just go that route again.
The Immortals ones bless him again.
Yes, sir. Okay, this is where you get the Granger, I would say. Come on, Twisted Minds. There it is.
Grenier Eve.
Eve? You think Eve, or did they give up the Harith? Oh, they go. Oh.
Okay, so they're doubling down on the idea of the Hilda. Sure.
That's their hero.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
theirs.
If that's their main tool for backline access, prepare. Just, you know what? Honestly, you can just go Phoveus again. And this time, your Aurora is going to be the one playing the Eve.
Or Harith.
Yeah. Yeah, they can actually also get Harith Cho if they want to really just double down on them controlling the temple. Actually, if that's the theme that Aurora wants to go for, control the temple, pick up the Cho now. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Twisted Minds decides to ban it actually in the second phase.
Yeah, Cho interacts very well with Hilda. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
We don't know, by the way. This second pick, blue side Hylos, is a great flex. In my opinion, a better flex than that Hilda.
Yeah. So, what are they trying to signal to Twisted Minds? Is like, go pick the Eve? Oh, there it is. Okay, a Hanzo debut.
Hanzo feels good, man. I was playing around with Hanzo over the past week, and he's great. Like, there's a way to play Hanzo like you play Suyo.
Like you play Suyo?
Yeah, like you can be an assassin and a utility hero in the jungle because of the adjustments of previous patch.
Okay. Hanzo over here. The fact that Twisted Minds has the Hanzo and the Granger this time, I'm feeling a little bit better about it too. And maybe they do flex the Hilda. You know, maybe that's part of the game plan here while we get through the second phase. The Valentina goes out. There's the Phoveus. Good quality bans here for the second phase. Do they still buckle down on even that covering the XP lane option here, Rora towards Twisted Minds?
Potentially, yeah. For Coach Bonchan, though, interestingly enough, since they have the Hanzo with them, their roamer can actually be very conservative. Because the Hanzo, if they time things right, can actually be the sub-roamer alongside the EXP laner.
Yeah.
So it's like the Hilda and the Hanzo together working to break formations, dive down to the back line, get info, while your roamer can just be busy in the back trying to protect and trying to heal. If ever you decide to go for counters, as like if you decide to pick up a Tigreal, if you suddenly surprise and then swerve, where you go for a roam Hilda, then you go EXP Edith. But although that's quite unlikely. So Aurora will double down on the EXP lane pickups.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're forcing the Hilda to go into the EXP. They're still respecting the possibility of a roam Hilda. I think that's something we have to watch out for the next few drafts. That roam Hilda is something that teams are looking for now.
That's why, when we open up game one, because I would have said the same thing. Like you guys, 4 out of 5, Hilda goes in XP lane, but then you have this roam here. There's a Fairness, though, that comes up for Twisted Minds.
We still don't know.
We still don't know.
By the way, it might just be a Twisted Minds thing. If it does carry on through the next few days of week 1, then yeah, confirmed there have been shenanigans afoot in the scrims leading up to Mpl Philippines Season 15.
Yeah, we'll also have to see if the Cult Altar will actually be will have an effect on the Pinnacle Ninja of the Hanzo.
It
like
depends
if it gets low,
whether it be the body that he's looking for or the ghost.
Yeah.
Where the AoE of the
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. So, like, will the ghost actually be helped out by the Cult Altar?
Netherrealm, you mean?
Netherrealm, excuse me, yeah, Netherrealm.
You know, we were
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Year history.
Yeah, yeah.
So about 2 years ago, it changed.
Shit. In my head, I was like, it's Netherrealm. Yeah, Netherrealm's the old one. It's Cult Altar. It's like, no, I was wrong. Oh, Aurora, go ahead and pick up
this
Edith.
earlier.
Yeah, Edith. And they go Farsa, but it's a different trade because Twisted Minds decided to take out the Eve, so they actually, again, they have the reach. They don't have to worry about reach, but Rora actually has a good lineup to respond to a Faramis. They need something solid. They need a tanky frontliner that can hold. They can just go Gatot or Glue.
It's a Rome Hilda.
Wow.
Rome Hilda.
I don't know how to feel about this.
What has changed in the past 1.5 weeks?
Hanzo became legal. That's one. Stating the obvious, but hey, maybe it works. I'm looking at Twisted Minds lineup right now. Something tells me this is what they were going for in game 1. Something like this.
Yeah.
If there's just enough in this kit to really ruin your opponent's timings and positioning.
Since they couldn't get the timings down the last game, their goal here is to accomplish ruining the timings of Aurora.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
The Glue really could be a great pickup for Twisted Minds, and I'm looking at that as one of the best things to mess up what Rora wants to do.
Yeah.
However, looking at it from a big picture, Rora's lineup has all the tools it needs to respond to Twisted Minds, especially with that Edith last pick. They can go for a longer team fight. Because if it was just the Harith, Hylos, Farsa, Suyo, that's a short team fight. They're dependent on their key abilities, mainly their ultimates. While the Edith, her ultimate lasts a considerable amount of time, that it actually might just tire out Twisted Minds if they time out the Primal Wrath very well.
Not to mention it's Mr. Consistent play in the Edith, one of his signature
Welcome
picks.
to Mobile Legends.
Definitely one of his signature picks. We've seen him do this before, but we're going to load up into the Land of Dawn. Once again, it's match point here for Rora against Twisted Minds, and we'll see if there's enough in this lineup for Twisted Minds to change the course of this series in this best of 3. So some early action poking already.
All right, Hajizi put down to a 10th of his health. Renegade not going to be able to finish the job, nor Yue. Outrange, no.
Okay, so 100% confirmed with Rome Hilda. Let's see what effect it's going to have against Roamer that's actually great for invading and defending against invades in the high loss. And it's just going to be a solid anchor that I think the Hilda might actually have some difficulty getting past.
I like that we get to see this matchup though to kind of like swapped, right? We've got the gold lane matchup with Outplayed this time around with Granger, and then you've got Dome and Kite on that Harith. And I think that's the thing, you know, when you look at this lineup and how are they going to, because for a lot of people that might be watching, you know, maybe they haven't seen the competitive play of the Hanzo so much. So I'm actually also interested to see if MP the King is able to execute it better than he did with the Hayabusa.
You and a million players all around the world. It's actually the first outing of the reworked Hanzo in all of competitive professional play. So, yeah, no, it's a huge rework. I'd say a bigger rework than Selena.
Yeah, he can afford to get so aggro with this. He gets some iframes also. The new Soul Snatch actually is like one of the biggest changes to Hanzo. Makes him really great for disruption.
That's right. Well, there is a key window of timing, trying to get those Amin or Habakiri stacks. So he has to be in for like 2 seconds with the basic attacks and then go with the burst. So we're assuming what, attack speed build on MP the King?
Maybe, that leaves a lot up here for deciding, but already this first turtle is going to be battled out. They don't have the Feathered Airstrike now from Yue. They're going to go for it though. Here's MP the King looking for an angle.
Turtle down to a 4th of its health. And now in comes MP the King. Look at the damage he's dealing. Putting Edward down to a 10th of its health. Down goes James. Demon Kite with the Sever, taking down the XP laner of Twisted Minds. They're down a man, will not allow Twisted Minds to contest at all. First turtle going to Aurora.
If James was able to get a grab onto someone, that would have been the best scenario, but he was just blasted. Again, Aurora were ready for James trying to enter and break down the formation in the back line. They countered the glue, they countered the team fight of Twisted Minds.
Oh, Tommen Kite flanked by 4, dropping the Zaman Force early, defensively even, to survive.
Yeah. Great usage. You know, Zaman Force, and he knows that there's going to be multiple members there, survives what could have been a fatality down on the bottom side, but now stays alive. They manage themselves a nice little comfortable lead, a 1.1 ahead for Aurora looking to go ahead and continue to set the pace. Now, again, even when you look at that last objective take, they didn't have, I would say, their biggest tools to win the team fights, one being that feathered airstrike, but it was the decision to back off and go ahead and fight the fight in their favor once Twisted Minds came forward. And so as long as they're able to do that, even if they lose a lot of the firepower early on, oh, hold on, mid, already dropping down the Glorious Pathway. They're chasing Sensui here. Yeah, but he's going to be fine, actually.
Again, very difficult for a Hilda to be able to disrupt and read formations against the high loss. Hajizi getting blasted by Yue, and Yue's marking Hajizi down to the point that the Faramis keeps having to go back to the base.
These nothing fights are perfect for Aurora. They know that they're waiting about 40 seconds before the turtle spawns, so that's what they're playing. Now Revitalized dropped in here by Renegade, helping the rest of Aurora to survive. Mpl the King, his ghost gets popped, and they back him off. Luckily, given the new revamp, at max level, if I'm not mistaken, Pinnacle Ninja only has like, what, 15, 14 seconds off of cooldown, so he can spam it.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest changes. Instead of making Pinnacle Ninja difficult to attain ultimate, it's almost always just ready for you. So in a way, you've sort of gotten one of the best benefits of what fighters have, which is fast access to the ultimate.
It's like a super kick. You just always do it.
Yeah, it's just there.
Part of this. Hold on, Sensui, though. Taking a Soul Sever to the face. He's fine. Demon Kite, though. They're going to get in position for this turtle. Renegade will spot them out, too. This looks like they want to go ahead and contest this. MP ready to go in.
Holding that small brush, getting ridden on by James. In comes Mpl the King with a Pinnacle Ninja. Renegade bites it. MP gets the score. Edward holding on to his old Demon Kite opened up. Retribution sharp as ever. Netherrealm, compromise, Soul Sever. Not enough to finish off Sensui. Down goes Hajizi though. Edward gets one. Another grab by James. Will he be able to take down Yue? The answer is no! Gets knocked up, gets severed once more, and now James gets sent 6 feet under the ground.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. This glue is the kicker. Well, up top, Mpl the King.
Once more, he does get the Pinnacle Ninja. Can Demon Kite find the body? Where's MP? Where's MP? Where's the real MP? And he does switcheroo.
Yeah, again, as we were saying, the glue, a fantastic pick for Twisted Minds, and it really messes up the team fighting for Aurora. But the longer the team fight goes, and when the Primal Wrath is perfectly timed by Edward, the Edith becomes a problem for Twisted Minds. Again, Twisted Minds cannot last a very long team fight. At some point, they're going to gas out, and the Edith will come into effect. That's exactly what happened in the last one.
Yeah, and I feel like they run out of gas quicker, right? Just because of the lineup that they have here. And, you know, even with that, Aurora just kind of taking things steady for the most part. Very just, you know, Yue with the feathered airstrike is just very giving. Like he's going to drop it down every time it's available because of the fact that he knows that they can still win fights even without it.
Renegade walks into a brush with 3 members of Twisted Minds in it. Edward with the onward and the transformation. Primal Wrath taken down Sensui. Another one bites it. Hajizi, Demon Kite playing like he's the Granger from game 1. In your face, James. Down he goes with a charged Quella. Taking him down. 3 for none. Aurora dog walking Twisted Minds.
Again, Aurora can just last longer in a fight, and the lineup of Twisted Minds gasses out quickly. Not just that, they get bursted down quickly.
They get bursted down, but also I want to point out the fact that Renegade has been able to utilize this Hylos, and he's got the Glorious Pathway, man. He's been able to set things up really well with the rest of the team's kit here. MP is not going to be able to do anything against Edward and Demon Kite. But that's the thing, the layering of what's happening from Aurora is exactly what we saw from the composition from game 1. And they're making it happen here. Now they get this turtle, last one of the game, 3 for 3, and a 6.3k gold lead now.
Remember what we were talking about earlier, what I said, wherein that high loss, if going back to the lineup of Twisted Minds in game number 1, if it was paired up with an Edith, would work out so well. Now Aurora has the high loss paired up with an Edith, and it's working out so well.
And there's always that blunt object. Note that sometimes it is a blunt force object in the Hilda, but Twisted Minds, they really like it, and it seems to be their detriment. Like there's only so much a Hilda can do come team fights when it's reached full scale.
Yeah, again, the glue is a perfect companion hero to the Hilda, but it has just gotten way out of hand, and MP gets solo killed by Demon Kite in the purple buff.
I can only imagine what happened there, but when you find Hanzo alone, that does tend to happen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's not. Oh, hold on. Mid lane.
The death strike popped in by Yue, opening up that tier 2 take. Twisted Mind staring down the barrel of a loaded gun. And here's the thing, Dominicite doesn't even have a gun. What does Killua have?
Well, what is that?
It's magic, that's what.
You want
magic.
Hunter?
I'm watching it now. So, it's, you know what? That's where we're at. But right now, Twisted Minds are losing more space to work around, and it's looking really grim. You can already see just how far ahead, you know, Dominicite, Demon Kite, and Edward, even Edward, on this Edith Big R in terms of itemization, and they're just going to force Twisted Minds out of their side of the jungle. Even Sensui is not going to be able to do anything. MP might just try to get the orange, doesn't, takes a peek around. But that's it. And you mentioned this, you know, when he got blasted 1v1.
Oh, what?
He finds Yue.
Man!
That's burst. What is MP rocking? How did he get that far? He only has a corrosion scythe.
Yeah,
Is that all he has?
New Hanzo's cooked, man.
All right, so
New Hanzo is
I'm
wild.
assuming he got like all 5 stacks of Amino Habakiri,
Yeah.
and then snow snatched them.
Yeah, that feels like a warning shot now for Aurora that, wait, yo, the Hanzo can do that despite them having a 7.3k gold lead and climbing.
So he's got Golden Staff and Corrosive Scythe.
Okay, so he has a golden
there you
staff
go.
with it too.
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe
all right.
yeah, no, he had that. He had that this whole time. But
still, the fact that you're able to do that.
You had a Blood Wings.
Yeah.
So he went through all that?
Yeah, he went through all of that, dude. He just went straight to the back line. And just, no.
All right, we're fine. Lord now down to about 0 health. Quick take by Aurora. And this is all you could get, right? When you're Twisted Minds, you can only do so much.
You can only do so much. Little reminder who made the game here. Now, going back to it.
In case you forgot.
In case you forgot,
It's
right now.
Monton, not Montoon, all right?
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. I don't know. Even what we just witnessed with that quick take, this might be a preview of how much damage potential can come out from Twisted Minds.
Yeah.
But they still have to deal with this massive gold deficit, and they have to deal with the Lord coming in to the mid lane. And the thing is, with Aurora's lineup, they can actually force the fight. We've seen Edward do this multiple times on this specific hero, this Edith, especially when the flicker is available. So expect them to almost force a fight here, force Twisted Minds to actually go in for the defense on this one.
Oh, gonna be a tough defense. Oh, good use of the ultimate by Yue to just immediately zone out, clear waves, and force Twisted Minds back.
That's right. Even if there were Holy Shields, Aurora have already compromised Twisted Minds' defense. Down goes the mid lane, tier 1, and that's a main artery. Aurora happy with their take, and now they're going to continue smothering Twisted Minds, taking away buffs from MP the King.
The next siege by Aurora can just go the same way again. Once Yue has that feathered airstrike, pop it, zone it, make sure Aurora can just go forward, push towers, and they're like that. Just he's doing it again.
Oh, MP though. Is he going to be on the hunt once again?
Oh, the answer. Zaman Force and the stun. Almost. If MP the King did not have the iframe to retreat. Clicks the ult once more to get back to his original body. Close calls. Now Aurora are playing a little more defensive. They're clumping up to where MP sends his ghost.
They still want to do that again, and they still have some waves pushing in. They want this top turret down before they go and take that next Lord when it's up. So they're going to fight for it here.
Perfectly synced. Bottom and top lane. One of them's got to give. Another Pinnacle Ninja by MP the King. You see there he was at the cusp of death, the brink of saying goodbye, being sent to Hades. But he does get the recovery. You know, when you do click that recovery button, he gets like yay bit of recovery health. So
that's exactly why I don't play Hanzo.
Little mechanics. He's very deep.
Living on the edge when you play that hero, man.
Yeah, I like it though. Like the fact, like with the new changes to Pinnacle Ninja, it makes him again another sub roamer. He's sort of like another EXP laner that you pair up with your lineup that can really just go deep, get info, be aggressive, try to bring someone low, and then just go back safely.
Like a Masha.
Like a Masha.
Like this.
That's nuts, the fact that he could do that.
Oh, finds Demon Kite. I don't think he can do that. Not to a Suyo.
Yeah.
All right, maybe he can try that on Yue and Domin Kite, but not Suyo, not Demon Kite.
Yeah, and even at that point, again, you're just going to be forced out of this this side of your jungle. You know, he can do it a couple times the best he can, but ultimately, you always have to focus on these objectives. You know, once that Lord is up, you're going to try to replicate that. But this time, you don't want to just freely let it go. He's going to be too late.
Going to try the retribution, too late. Aurora blitzed that Lord, and they secure their second in game 1. That Lord is enhanced. He's going to knock up and jump onto that tier 3 up top.
This next defense for Twisted Minds will be really difficult. Even if they decide to throw bodies, they're severely lacking damage, I think. That's like one of the biggest problems. Even if Mpl the King can get one, that's just one. At that point, Aurora would have thrown so much more that maybe Twisted Minds already took down or have already lost 2 or 3 members just with Mpl the King trying to get either Yue or Dominkite.
Okay, we'll see how they prep up this one. This top turret's surely going to go down. They have to deal with the Lord. But can they stay in this game without it being a sweep for Aurora? Here we go.
Glorious Pathway by Renegade.
Oh!
Mpl the King bursted, didn't even last 2 seconds, and down goes Insui. James trying his best with a split. Hajizi pop, Dominkite gets a double, and now James left in no man's land, knee deep behind Aurora, and in a flash, Aurora gets the sweep.
Welcome back to Mpl Philippines. Aurora continuing their strength from last season. Sort of fizzled out during the off-season, but now they are back, and they came back with a vengeance. Sweet.
Again, Twisted Minds, looking like they had a game plan from game 1 and game 2, but just not ultimately able to execute that game plan. And against a team like Aurora, again, what they were able to accomplish in their journey from S14 to where they are now, they're definitely looking refined here, because even with this, against, a Hanzo across from them, they seem to be able to respond to it really well.
Joseph, there's a saying from a great general, plans are useless, planning is essential. I don't know if they planned for what happens if the plan failed.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in game 1 and 2. Like, they played on the Hilda.
Yep.
They tried to force it, and then Aurora just knew what to do.
Yeah, funnily enough, again,